Hello and welcome to day 6 of the GoPrandall Advent. I hope you're enjoying it. I've been enjoying all the videos I've been making. Today is a top 10 list of the TV shows of 2020. This went much better than my top films of 2020 because I'm not sure I've even seen 10 new films this year that have come out. But there's been an abundance of TV shows and I've had so much time off because of obviously lockdown. I've been watching a lot, so these are my top 10 TV shows. So I'm going to jump straight in at number 10, and it's going to be James May's Or Cook. James May's made a few TV shows this year, and this one came out relatively recently, literally in the last few months. Also, maybe if I didn't explain, I'm going from 10 to 1 to build up the tension. And there's going to be a few at the bottom that I'm just going to throw out there. Also, if I didn't say a different video, I'm very sorry I never look Christmassy. I'm always wearing something pretty plain and the background isn't that great, but I've left everything back in Stockton. And I've got so many Christmas jumpers and t-shirts. I didn't want to be going out and buying more. But anyway, at number 10 we have James May's Or Cook. This was released to coincide with his new cookbook. It was out on Amazon Prime, and me and a couple of my flatmates watched all the episodes, and I had to say this was really, really good. I do love James May. It's a shame no Grand Tour stuff really came out this year, but I absolutely loved it. There was a load of recipes in there that, like, one of my flatmates already tried a few. I've got a few that I want to try. And he didn't really give any bullshit when it came to a cooking show. He showed you exactly what he was doing. He showed you exactly who was making it, because there's a lot behind the scenes as well. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I'd definitely check it out if you love cooking shows and or James May. At number 9, we have The Queen's Gambit. This is, again, a relatively new Netflix original that just came out, and a lot of people have been raving about it. I'm only putting it at number 9 because as much as I love the first and last episode, and if you don't know what this one's about, it's about a young girl who, I don't think it's a spoiler because it happens in the first 5 minutes. She is orphaned and she is sent off, and then throughout her life becomes a very, very good chess player, maybe the best in the world. And it's about her going through different trials. It's about her going through different competitions to see if she really is the best. And it really made chess fun. I thought I'd be quite bored during it. I've never really been into chess, and they very easily could have made it all about the games and showing you all the intricacies, but it really didn't. It kept it exciting. As much as I thought a few episodes in the middle were a bit boring, which is why it's down at number 9, I love the first and last episode, and I think it genuinely is worth a watch. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and it made chess fun, which I never thought I'd be saying. At number 8, we have an early one from the beginning of this show, which is Avenue 5. This stars Hugh Laurie and Josh Gad as a host of other people. And it's the story that it's set in the future. They're on a spaceship, where a spaceship would be like a cruise ship, so people are on holiday, and they go off course. So instead of going home in 2 weeks, they'll be going home in 2 years. And then there's about an 8-episode saga where they have to try and figure out how to get back on course, how to get back to Earth. Do they need to lose weight? Do they need to put propellers in a different motion? What do they need to do? And it's a whole host of really funny people. Someone from my next TV show, I don't want to spoil it, someone from that is in this, and they're absolutely fantastic, but I'll explain that when I get to it. But yeah, definitely would recommend. I think it's on Sky. Again, me and my flatmate Josh watched it, and this was just before the last pandemic. Last before the first lockdown. And we it came out once a week, and we watched it every single week, and it was literally a highlight. So funny. 10 out of 10 would recommend Avenue 5. At number 7 is Taskmaster. And yes, Taskmaster's on every year. They're at season 11, but I love Taskmaster every year, so I had to throw it in there. And maybe that showed how much that I really didn't like a few other TV shows if that made it in. But it's obviously hosted by Greg Davies and Alex Horne. You all know what Taskmaster is, so I'm not going to explain it. I'm going to read off the list because I want to make sure I don't get wrong who was on it. It's Daisy May Cooper, who was in Avenue 5. She's really funny. Johnny Vegas, Catherine Parkinson, Moan, and Richard Herring. And by far my favourite this year has been Moan. In style, in personality, comedy, he is just everything that I aspire to be. He's so funny. So definitely go and check out this season's and the past 10, because Taskmaster is fantastic. And hopefully in 2021, I really want to do a GoPrandall Taskmaster with a few of my friends, where I give them funny tasks to do and see how they all differently do it. So keep a look out for that, because I really want to do that. At number 6 is The Boys Season 2. Obviously, Season 1 came out last year and it was absolutely fantastic, and they blew it out the park this year with Season 2. It's the story of anti-superheroes, anti-heroes. There's a group of superheroes called the Seven, and this shows it, whereas Marvel shows quite a lovely view of what superheroes would be if they came. This shows a very capitalistic version of the superhero storyline, and then there's a group of people who are working against the superheroes for various reasons. But I genuinely think season 2 is so much better. It looks amazing. There's something about Amazon Prime TV shows, and someone else was saying this in a podcast that I can't quite remember who, but there's just something about them that just look really, really nice. And the storyline was fantastic. There's there's an amazing. I keep saying fantastic, but there's an amazing bit where the Deep uses a whale. And some people end up inside the whale. Very funny. Don't really want to spoil them. It's on Amazon Prime now. Definitely check them both out. Even if you're not into superheroes, this is probably the best thing to watch because it shows why superheroes can be terrible and why they probably would be. At number 5, we have Criminal. This is season 2 on Netflix. Is it season 2? Maybe. Yes, it is season 2. So, Criminal, if you haven't seen it, basically there's normally 3 episodes and each one is a standalone episode. All the police officers remain the same, but the person being questioned is different. And each time you don't know, sometimes they're guilty, sometimes they're not guilty, and it's about them trying to defend themselves. It's the interrogation segment of an arrest, and it's that every single episode. And Netflix did a really cool thing where they did like a British version, a Spanish, a French, and a German, and there's 3 episodes for each. And now season 2 has come out. Definitely my favourite one, the English season 2 episodes with Kit Harington and Kunal Nair, who you'll know as Raj from The Big Bang Theory, and obviously Kit Harington, you'll know as Jon Snow. And their 2 episodes are absolutely fantastic. Kit Harington's is like, blows you out the water. I can't quite remember who was episode 2, but then Kunal's 3rd episode might be my favourite of all time. They're always really topical with things that are going on. There's a good episode in season 1 about a man who he's been arrested for the idea that there's been immigrants that were in one of his vans that he was transporting from France, and he's left that van somewhere. So the episode is about trying to work out if that's true, and if it is, they have to get to those immigrants because they will die. And yeah, absolutely fantastic TV show. If you haven't already watched it, which I feel like most people will have, definitely go and give it a watch. At number 4, we have Normal People. I've gone to quite lengths at this on one of my podcasts, so if you go Tim Foyle Shed Pod on Spotify, you'll hear me describe all about this TV show. But it's absolutely fantastic. It's obviously the TV show for BBC, based off the novel by Sally Rooney, and it's about a young man and a young woman and we follow their journey from the end of school, or maybe to the end of college, right up through university, and then to the beginning stage of life, and everything that they go through. Don't want to give any spoilers. It was absolutely fantastic. You could watch it in a day. Me and a few of my friends chose to watch it over 2 nights. They'd seen it before, but they watched it with me, and it was absolutely fantastic. It's everything you'd want it to be in a TV show. It's very emotional, made you cry, made you happy, and it's honestly one of those things where how we watch media, how we watch films and TV shows to try and not portray our lives, but we want to see our lives reflected or things that we all know reflected. It's the reason why I think In-Betweeners does so well, because you see your life reflected in it, not the things that they do, but you can be like, oh, I see that. This is again one of those TV shows where it's much more serious, but I just feel how real it is. They really captured the essence of the time and young people's relationships nowadays. 10 out of 10 would recommend, and I'm sure it's still on BBC iPlayer, so definitely go and check that out. At number 3, and I am actually wishing that I'd put Normal People higher up on this list, but no bother. At number 3 is The Haunting of Bly Manor. This is again a new Netflix original carrying on from The Haunting of Hill House by the same director, I think Mike Flanagan. Yes, Mike Flanagan, who also did Doctor Sleep, which I watched recently, which is fantastic. But The Haunting of Bly Manor there's a manor house in southern England, and there's 2 kids and a few workers, including my favourite, Rahul Cooley. He used to work with Rooster Teeth, we don't talk about that, but he's a fantastic actor, and he's completely left them now, so that's good. He was probably my favourite in it. But there's 2 kids, a couple of house workers, and a young woman comes over from America to be the new nanny, and it's a horror TV show, but it's absolutely fantastic. I don't think I liked it as much as The Haunting of Hill House, which is the one that came out previously. They're not connected, but they use some of the same actors and the same guy created them. But yeah, so good. Would recommend it going to watch it. We did watch it around Halloween, so we were proper in spooky season, so that probably made it better. But they do a fantastic thing where they have monsters and ghosts in the backgrounds of all the episodes, but they never really... They're not meant to amount to anything, but when they mention there's ghosts between these walls, and you see them dotted around, me and my flatmates would always try and find them and point them out. It's so good. It's such a fun little extra thing to show how much detail went into making it. So good. I know I've said that about all 10, but it's because of my top 10. They're all fantastic. Go and give it a watch. Number 2 is Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun. If you've been anywhere near my uni house in the past month, you will have seen this TV show because we will have put it on. Auntie Donna are a sketch group from YouTube, been doing it about a decade now, and they make short sketches based in Australia, but recently got a deal with Netflix. And I can't describe this TV show without you going and watching it. It's not everyone's cup of tea, it's not everyone's type of comedy. Definitely my type of comedy. I grew up on Tom Skerritt, who he's mates with. And yeah, it's just wacky comedy that you don't know what's going to happen next, and it's just so funny. I was creasing the first time I watched it. I was still laughing the second time, and now I just have it on in the background because it just makes me feel better. If you were going to pick anything from this list, I would say Normal People and Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun to go and watch. They also have a YouTube channel where they have they have 3 sets of sketch shows. So one was set in like a secondary school and they have 15 sketches from that. One was set in 1999, they have 15 sketches from that. They have a few live shows, but yeah, it's so good. Definitely go and give it a watch. And I love them so much, and they've just got this Netflix deal, and obviously it has to go well for them to be able to create anything else. So the main thing on Netflix is finishing things that you've started watching. So please start watching it and watch it all the way through for them, because I want to see more. And at number 1, thank you all for watching the whole of this video. There's a few runners-up I wanted to shout out. I'll read them off the bottom. Modern Family. This year, Modern Family did have its big finale, its final season. And I love Modern Family from season 1 to the last season. I think it was sick. I think they did really well. They wrapped them all up. They give them a nice storyline. They left it a little bit open in case they ever wanted to come back, but I think they did really well. Prop Masters, an Imagineering documentary on Disney Plus. Both 2 little TV shows, and maybe a bit more documentary, a bit like another one I'm going to talk about. So I tried to keep those more off the list, but they were fantastic if you do have Disney Plus. Another one is Dash and Lily, again on Netflix, and it's a story. It's Christmas time. It's a young couple in New York, and they, for the first part of their relationship, talk through a book which is handed back and forth to them through friends. It's quite short, it's sweet, it's Christmassy. I'd go and give it a watch. Hunters on Amazon Prime. That's the story of how when the Nazis left after World War II and came to America to work as scientists, because the American government actually stole Nazis from Germany after the war to come and work for them, which is awful. And this is a group of Jewish people who are going around and trying to kill any Nazis that they still know about. Very good TV show. And finally, I could not say Tiger King. Like I said, bit more documentary, like Imagineering, but there's no way I couldn't mention it. I couldn't mention it when it was literally the biggest TV show of the year at the beginning of lockdown. But I shouldn't do that because I'll jiggle away. But my number 1 TV show of 2020, which you might not think, is actually James May, Man in Japan. I started at number 10 with him, and he's also at number 1. So this was James May's trip throughout Japan. Again, more of a documentary series, but as with a TV show, he keeps it really real. He shows you every stage of the production. He showed you his arguments with the cameramen and the directors, and yeah, he shows you the beautiful sides of Japan with all interesting facts. He gives everything a go. Anything that he shows you, he has also tried to create himself. He creates haikus throughout the entire thing because that's a big part of Japanese culture, and he tries to sum up each episode with a haiku, and each one is like its own little documentary on Japan, and they are fantastic, and is definitely my favourite thing I've watched this year. Thank you for watching my top 10 TV shows of 2020. This has been GoPrandalls Advent. I make a video every other day. You definitely want to check in 2 days' time for my next episode, where I'll be cooking Christmas cakes and hopefully being as funny as I can be. So please check in for that. Give me a like, give me a comment, give me a message if you have any ideas for future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.